Alright, I'm going to show you how to analyze this tune, How High the Moon. So, first, I'm in the key of C. I have it set here, well, this is the natural key of the song, so it's a major. I can change it for my instrument on the app in Preferences. Here I am. So, yep. And UE, sorry, bass is C. It's for that. And oh, here we go. Here's where you can change to bass clef once you get the app. So it's kind of tricky to get started, I understand. There are lots of different chords, and you're not sure of which chords to play while the tune is going. I understand. Believe me, it took me a long time to figure it out. But once I did, it made things a lot easier. I want you to take a look at the first chord of the song and the key. This is going to tell us a lot to begin with. This tune, in my version, in the key of C, is in G. I only have one sharp to worry about. So for this section, these two measures here, I'm in the key of G. So that means that my third is B, and my 7 is F sharp. So this is something I was telling you about. It's good to know your 3 and your 7. Just have them written down. You don't have to write 3 and 7 if you don't, but if you want to, it's fine. But you need to at least know the notes that you need to play. All right. Now we could do 3 and 7 for every single thing, and we probably should. So let's go ahead and do that now. So G minor 7. This is a minor chord. Oh, by the way, if you're not sure of which one to do, let's see, chords. We can go to chord scales. So now I can click on things here in the app, and it shows you what the chord scale is. Now take special note over here. It shows you the chord that's built. We have C is 1, then E is 3, G is 5, and B flat is the flat 7. Okay, I know it looks kind of messy, but really the ones that you really need to know are 3 and flat 7. Those ones are going to help you the most. So let's go ahead and use this as a reference point to know what to write down. So we'll go back to G, and we can see here that B and F sharp are the notes that we need. So I'm going to write those down. B and F sharp. Okay, now I need to go here. Oh, I'm sorry, with this app I'm not able to switch back and forth, I think. So you're going to lose stuff. So write it down, B and F. So now when I go to G, it's going to show me B flat and F. And then for C, I look over here and find 3 and 7, E and B flat. For F, I'm going to find A and E. And hopefully by this time you've kind of figured out the pattern, and I don't actually have to analyze every stinking chord because that would take forever. Well, doing it this way takes a long time. The next thing is that there are some measures that have more than one chord in it, like this. You notice if you click here, you have a couple of different things that are visible. We have the first chord on the top, then the second chord. This can be kind of tricky to look at. So what's happening here is something that I'm going to explain. Well, specifically what's happening here is something that's happening up here. Before that gets you confused, let me just talk about it. When I look at this chord, G minor 7, I have a B flat in it, but it's basically a C scale with a B flat. All the notes are natural except for B flat. If I look at C7, all the notes are natural except for B flat. If I look at F, all the notes are natural except for B flat. Do you catch what I'm saying here? What I'm saying is that G minor 7, C7, and F major 7 are all related. They can all three of these chords can use the same scale. This is what we call a 2, 5, 1. Okay, these fancy symbols help me to know what to do there. I want you to get familiar using the Roman numerals and the macro notation here, the minus 7, 7, and a triangle 7. Okay? Because that's what iReal Pro uses, and that's what most jazz books that you're working with will use. Sometimes they'll use MAJ7 or MIN7 or MI7, but for the most part, it's good to know and get familiar with these symbols. So anyway, like I said, these three chords are all related. That means that for this amount of time, you can use the notes all from F, because like we said, F is the major scale. It has a B flat, so you can basically play an F major scale over these 4 chords. So I'm just going to write F, F, F here. So that means for the first measure, I'm playing G. G, 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 and then we go to F. And we stay on F for a while, and then it changes again. So here we have, okay, let's look at something else too. So it seemed kind of random how I found these things to all have something in common. I just seemed to kind of pick them. But it's actually simpler than that. There's something that I call the II-7 V7. Let me write that down again and I'll explain. I'm not going to use the other stuff just to save time. Sorry, a II-7 V, not a II-7 V7. So this 2 is in relation to F. Let's look at the scale here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So F is our 1. That's why we have 1 here, because it's an F major 7. Now say we took G minor 7 and we built a 7th chord starting on G. We would need the B flat. Here's F. Alright, here's our major 7th chord, here's our 2, and we'll do the same thing for 5. Alright, now we have 7th chords built on 1, 2, and 5. They're all related, they all use the same key signature, B flat, B flat, B flat. And this is, I'm saying 2, 5, 1 because this is the 2 of 1. This is the 5 of 1. And then we have 1 of 1. So let's try to see if we can find another 2-5-1. And there's no surprise that there are lots of them in this song. So let's look at these. The relationship, also another trick that will help you too, is to look for fourths. G to C is up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C to F. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's helpful. Okay, let's look here. F to B flat, is that up 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. And it's a minor 7 to a dominant 7. This is a big clue that it's a 2-5-1. B flat up to E. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So this is another 2-5-1. And I'm going to write that down. Okay, and then after that I've written that down, then it doesn't hurt, like I said before, it doesn't hurt to label the 3 and the 7. Yes, you're going to have a lot of marks on your music, but it's okay. It's okay to write on your music. It's okay to make notes. It's okay to really dirty it up, because that's what you're doing, is you're learning and you're making things easy for yourself to have a successful solo. So write down as much information as possible on this paper. So let's look, now that we've talked about this, we found a 2-5-1 here and a 2-5-1 here. Take a special note of where we're moving. We start with G, we go down to F, then down to E flat. Now here's where things get interesting. We're in E flat, then we have an A diminished 7 to a D 7 to a G minor 7. Now this isn't the same as a minor 7, dominant 7, major 7, because we're ending in a minor. But look at the relationship. A up to D, 1, 2, 3, 4. D up to G, 1, 2, 3, 4. It works. This is moving up in fourths. That means that this is also a 2-5-1, but it's a minor 2-5-1. So that means for these three chords, you're going to be playing a G minor scale. Now, there are a couple of different scales you could use, but for now, just play a G minor 7 over these three. If you want to get more detailed and bring out the cool notes that make each chord interesting, then look here for the 3 and the 7. You could also add the E flat for this one because it's a new color for this. It brings out something interesting, so you could do 3, 5, or 7. For D, you want to play 3 and 7, and if you want, you can add the flat 9. Notice how high this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's pretty high up there, so it's a tension, and we don't have to play it, but we can if we want to. So you can label these special notes 3 and 7 if you want to hit them on your solo. Let's keep going. Now we have an A diminished 7, or half diminished 7, D7 flat 9 to G major 7. This is also a 2-5-1. We start minor, but then we end major. And here we have a 2-5. Again, it's the same intervals. It's the same thing as before, but now we're ending somewhere else completely. What do you do here? Treat it like it's G. It's okay. We don't end on G, but you can still use the G major scale for this measure right here. This is going to be the hardest part of the song. This happens in these two measures at the end of this first part of the end of the B section. It also happens again here at the end of the C section, or the beginning of the end of the C section. So what happens here is that we're moving chromatically down. We have B moving down to B flat, a half step, moving down a half step to A, but look what happens here. A, D, G. A, D, G. A, D, G. So what happens here is we're just suspending the 2-5-1 from happening. We're giving it time, and the composer, Morgan Lewis, thought it'd be fun to add this, which is really cool. It works really well. There's another reason why this is here, but it's a little bit over your heads right now, so don't sweat it. But it's something, maybe you watch this later on, and this is where you have tritone substitution. But again, if that sounds like jargon, it's okay. So we have this going chromatically down to 2, 5, 1. Then we start the next solo, or the second part of the solo section, however you're doing this. You notice that this is similar to the A section above because this says A, this is A, so that means it's going to be the exact same as above. Sorry, I realized I didn't explain here. This is an instance where you're going to want to label the 3 and the 7 to make it sound more interesting here. You want to bring out the two characteristic or two identifying notes of these chords to make it sound the most interesting. So we can check here for 3 and 7, which is D and A. And then for B flat 7, we have D, and then we have a D and an A flat. Oops. D, A flat. Then for this, we're just going to treat it like it's G. And again, you can write the 3 and the 7. It's okay. But this is just going into G. Let's go on. This part is the exact same as here, so we don't have to do that. Then when we get down to this, notice it says C. We have A, B, A, C. It starts out the same as the B section, but notice that it doesn't go to the half diminished to 7 flat 9. It goes to a minor 7 to a dominant 7. The distance is the same. It's up a fourth, and then we go right into the B, B flat, A, D. So same thing here. It's happening here, and then we end on the G. And this is interesting right here. It says G6. In yours, I believe it does say G6. So what this means is that you don't have a 7th chord, you have a 6th chord. So you're going to play and focus on using the third, and the sixth. Sixth chords are also common in jazz, and they have a different kind of quality to them. They sound nice. Now, what happens here? A, D, we go back to the beginning, G. So, if we look at the whole piece, this is G. This is going real fast, so just to explain one more time. This is the key of G. This is the key of F. This is the key of E flat. Now we're in G minor, G major, something different, then G major, F, E flat, G minor, G, something different, G. So if I'm pretty sure that's 1, 2, 3, 4 different scales that you'll have to learn for this song. It is tricky, so please do practice at a reasonable tempo. Make sure it's slow, and that if you're having a hard time with sections like this that are moving chromatically or things that you're not familiar with, you can loop them and you can practice them over and over and over. So, if you have any questions, message me and let me know. I'm happy to help, but I hope that this was a good explanation of how to analyze a tune and what to do. Thanks!